Oh, I take no joy in making this video, but I'm gonna have to because, well, I mean, y'all are gonna understand because we're all in the same boat, right? We've been experiencing inflation. We all know what's been going on. We all know that it's even worse than what they've been telling us because we're experiencing it every time we go to the store. So I started Patreon in 2015 and I have not raised, hang on a second, always as soon as I start recording something happens. I've had Patreon since 2015 and ever since then I have not raised the prices. And in fact, I went down on the top two tiers a few years ago. So I really want to be able to say, hey, just pay me whatever you can. I'd rather have a whole bunch of people giving me smaller donations than, a few people giving big ones. But see, here's the problem. The fees have gone up. The banking fees have gone up. Inflation has gone up. And they've started taxing creator payouts. That is not, and then the taxes recently went up. And it is just, the whole thing is, when you pay $1 on Patreon or Subscribestar, there are banking fees that come out. Some of those fees are a percentage, but then some are flat. You pay like a certain amount, and then the amount. So, when you're talking about what $1 was in 2015, in inflation, that's gone down to 79 cents. And then you have that with, like, I think Patreon and Subscribestar, I think they take 5% out from it or maybe more. And then you go through PayPal, they take out like whatever it is, plus, it's like 30 cents plus 2.5%, whatever it is. Yeah, and so when you give $1, I don't get that much of it. I really don't. As opposed to, like, if you give $5, I'll get a much greater proportion of that. Because that's just how it works. And it's not good. And talking about inflation, when you're looking at prices of going and buying stuff, if I want to think of the money I get from supporters as grocery money. Okay, that's good. Groceries are important, and if I can make enough of this to get groceries sold, what have groceries been doing? That's why you got the graphs on the screen. Overall, in 2015, $1 worth of groceries, that's down to like 36 cents today. So that would have been 36 cents worth of groceries in 2015 is what you can get with $1 today. So that and the taxes and all the banking fees and everything else, it's getting harder and harder to justify, at least at the smaller tiers. So basically I've taken a major pay cut for doing this for you guys. That's just been the reality of it. And if it were the case where there weren't any of these fees, and I got, or if there were like a negligible fee, a tenth of a cent or whatever, then I could do all sorts of things to make it cheap for you. What if you paid 2 cents per video? That's it, just 2 cents per video. And I got all of it. If that were the case, you'd watch a video, pay 2 cents, watch a video, pay 2 cents. If you did that, and all that money came to me, then I will be getting the same amount of money per month that I actually get after everything else. If you give me $1 a month. Yeah. 2 cents a video is what I get from your $1 a month. That's a waste. That's a waste. You're not really paying me. Part of it's paying me and part of it's paying the banks and, So, this can't continue. I hate it. But it's going to have to go up. I put it to my supporters on Patreon and Subscribestar. I gave them some options. Now, the idea is that the lowest tier, getting the early videos, getting on the live streams and everything, the idea is that'll go up to $3. And doing that will do a couple of things. First of all, since I'm basically getting a third of what I was originally, that'll get it, in terms of purchasing power coming to me, what it was back in 2015. Because that's just where we are. So if I do that, and you can see it here on the screen, the graphs on the screen is the consumer price index for all urban consumers. The top one is the average across U.S. cities. The bottom one is in the South. You can see what it's been doing. This is, it's food at home. That means you can buy groceries and you do at home, as opposed to food away from home, which is things like restaurants. This is getting groceries, buying your own food, making your own food. And it was okay for a while. Starting in 2020 is when it started getting really bad. And you had that uptick there for COVID. By the way, the graph goes way back. I started the graphs in 2015 because that's where I started doing Patreon, so I wanted to compare it to that. But COVID happens, and there's this big uptick. At the time, that was like this big unprecedented uptick. You know, if the graph had stopped there, it would be way up. Like, whoa, way up. Get on the scissor lift to get to the top of where the graph is, if you remember that. Then after that, it started going down again. Not down to where it was, not down to where it needed to be, but it was starting to. And then you got the Biden administration. And then that's the part at the end where it goes way up. And it's sort of stabilized off, but notice it's still creeping up. It's definitely not coming back down to where it was. So that's what you can see right there in terms of what I can actually get. Making the lowest tier $3 will get me back to where $1 was in 2015 or thereabouts. Now, there are a couple of other reasons. Discord has memberships now. They start at $2.99. They won't let you make a membership less than $2.99, probably for this very reason. It's just kind of ridiculous to do it at $1 now, because you don't really get much of anything after everything happens all through it. But if I do this, then, I say if, I am going to do this. Spoiler alert. It's going to happen. These are going up. They're going to have to. I don't have a choice. I do have a choice, but it's not really a choice, if you know what I mean. But doing this would mean that over on Discord, I could get you the benefits there. You just go straight on Discord, you pay the $2.99, and you can get access to, and this will be over on the Bogosity Discord, discord.bogosity.tv. Links are below. That's where I have all of the secret channels for joining the live streams and for getting the early videos and things like that. So I can set it up where you can just do it directly through Discord and you don't have to go through Patreon or Subscribestar. Also, YouTube has memberships and they also start at $2.99. So just having everything where maybe I'll have to look into it. I don't know if I'm going to do YouTube memberships or not. I'll look into it. But having it at this base where it's this $2.99, $3 level, then I can offer this in more places. That's more choices for you. That hopefully means more support, and hopefully easier things, which is great because I lost a lot of people in Patreon because Patreon, the company, it wasn't anything I did, started doing bad things to people that made people want to leave. And not all of them went over to Subscribestar. So I lost a lot of support that way. So maybe I can get some of those back if I do it directly through Discord or YouTube. So the whole idea here is I'm expanding membership and making $3 that lowest level. So I gave my supporters some options. One of them was just adding $2 to each one. So right now they're $1, $2, $3, and $5 a month. I add $2 to them. I make them 3, 4, 5, and 7. Or I could double it, make it 3, 4, 6, and 10. By the way, the highest tier originally was 10, so that would basically put it back where it was. or just making an extra tier, trying to figure out what to do with $1. So I gave them a few options. And they were split. None of them selected the option for making a new $1 tier. And also none of them said, I had an option for if you raise the prices, I'll have to stop supporting you. None of them picked that one. So all of them, to one of these groups, supported raising the lowest one to $3. And thank you. That makes me feel so much better about this. They were split. Some said double the prices, I'll still support you. And the others said add on $2 to each tier. On Patreon, more of them said double the prices. On Subscribestar, more of them said just add on $2. So put them together and it seems to be split. I'm operating under the assumption that if you're fine with doubling the prices, then since adding $2 is less, then if you do that one, you do the other one. So that's what I'm going to do. Starting in April, and I'm not exactly sure when, but starting in April, the supporter tiers are going up to $3, $4, $5, and $7. So you'll have all the rest of this month to get in at the lower tiers if you want to. But starting sometime in April, they will be going up. I don't know exactly when, because on the 3rd I have a colonoscopy, and the 2nd will be prep day, and so I don't know. I promise I won't do it before April. You'll be able to do this at least through the end of March. It'll probably be after the colonoscopy by the time I finally get around to doing it. But I don't know the exact date. I can't give you the exact date, but some point in there, they're going to go up to $2. And I really hope that by doing this and by adding on other options for memberships on Discord and maybe even YouTube directly, hopefully this is something that can start making this a little more of a concern, because lately it's just been getting lower and lower in the priorities just because of how I have to manage all of my income coming in from the different sources that I have. If this is going to be grocery money, great. I can do it. Right now, it's not grocery money. It's not. If it could be grocery money and gas money, hey, now we're talking. So I'm not asking to be made filthy rich, although that would be awesome. I'm not asking you that you all, put your life savings into me. But if you can give me gas and grocery money, I will be one happy camper, and I will be enthusiastically doing a lot more of these. But we'll have to see what happens. Just letting you know that's what's happening. Don't listen to the people who say there's no inflation. Don't listen to the people who say inflation isn't as bad as it is. In fact, I'm working on a story. This is actually from Larry Summers, and he was an economic advisor to both Obama and Clinton, so definitely not a guy on the right. He's very much, left establishment, mainstream economist. And he's saying, if we counted CPI the same way we counted it in the 70s, then last year in 2023, inflation would have been 18%, which is what a lot of us have been saying. And they've been, no, you're kooky libertarian. And I said, well, this is Larry Summers saying it. So I'm working on that story. It'll probably be for the podcast, unless it ends up being too big, in which case I'll do a video on its own. But yeah, everything you think you're experiencing from inflation, you're experiencing from inflation, and it's tough on all of us. And I really hate doing this because it's not your fault, but it's just where we are. It's the new standard. It's where everything is. And I am so thankful to all of the people who have supported me for so long. I'm so thankful for people who, even if you don't support monetarily, just like and subscribe the videos, share them. That helps so much. It helps a lot. So, Patreon and Subscribestar, please go ahead and get in at the lower price. Become a supporter. I don't exactly know how the price hike will work for existing supporters, but through the end, I'll probably schedule this sometime this week. Will be the live stream for this month. You can go ahead and get into that at $1 and join the live stream this month before it goes up. and get the early videos and everything else. Thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, stay strong and be free.